Welcome back. Today, we're unlocking the secrets of the Lincoln Memorial Cent, those little pennies you might think are just pocket change. But hold on, some of these are worth thousands. Stick around as we reveal the top 5 rarest, most valuable pennies that will blow your mind. First off, before we talk about these valuable coins, let's take a quick step back and talk about the history of the Lincoln Memorial Cent. The Lincoln Memorial Cent was first minted in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse, front, of the coin features a portrait of Lincoln, which was designed by Victor David Brenner. It's one of the most iconic coin designs in U.S. history. But here's the thing, even though millions of these pennies have been minted over the years, some of them have something special that makes them. At number 5, we've got the 1969 Lincoln Memorial Cent. Now, you've probably seen a 1969 penny floating around in your pocket change before, right? But what makes the 1969 version so special is a rare and valuable minting error that can make it worth way more than just 1 cent. What makes this coin stand out is a mistake that happened during the minting process, a double die error. In simple terms, that means the design on the coin was struck twice, creating a slight doubling of the image. This happened because the die that was used to stamp the image onto the coin was misaligned, which made it appear as if some parts of the design, like Lincoln's ear and even the date, were doubled. This error creates a really cool, almost ghostly effect on the coin's details. If you're looking closely at the 1969 penny with this error, you'll notice that Lincoln's profile has a blurry, doubled look, especially around his ear and the words Liberty and the date. For collectors, this kind of misstrike is a big deal. The rarity and uniqueness of these double die pennies make them highly sought after. Now, the big question, how much is it actually worth? Well, most 1969 pennies are worth, 1 cent. But a 1969 with the double die error in good condition can go for a lot more. In fact, some of these coins have sold for more than $7,000, depending on the condition. So, if you've got one of these in your collection, it might be time to take a closer look. Let's break it down a little further. The condition of the coin is super important when determining its value. If you've got a 1969 penny with the double die error that's in excellent condition, we're talking about a coin that looks almost as good as the day it was minted. That's when you can see the big jump in value. The better the condition, the higher the price it can fetch. But even if it's not in mint condition, the value can still be quite impressive. So, how do you spot one of these rare coins? It's all about inspecting the details. You'll want to carefully look at the year and the word Liberty, as well as Lincoln's ear. The double die effect is usually most noticeable in these areas. Of course, the best way to confirm it's a genuine double die error is to take it to a professional appraiser or coin dealer who can verify its authenticity. Finding a 1969 double die penny isn't something that happens every day, so if you happen to come across one, consider yourself lucky. These coins are extremely rare, and if you're a coin collector, you'll definitely want to keep it in your collection. Even if it's not worth thousands, it's still a unique piece of history that shows just how much of a difference one tiny error can make in the world of coin collecting. To wrap it up, keep your eyes peeled the next time you're going through your pennies. A 1969 double die Lincoln Memorial Cent could be worth far more than its face value, and who knows, you might just find one yourself. Next up at number 4 is the 1975 Lincoln Memorial Penny. Now, this one's a bit of a mystery. On the surface, the 1975 penny might seem like just another coin from the 1970s, but it's far more rare and valuable than you might think. The 1975 penny is famous for being one of the hardest pennies to find in excellent condition. There's something about the way it was produced that makes it pretty elusive. While there are plenty of 1975 pennies out there, the 1975 is the one that collectors have their eyes on, and it's not just because of its age. This penny is special because of its extreme rarity. You see, not a lot of these pennies were made, and because they were produced during a time when coin quality wasn't always perfect, they're really difficult to find in great shape. What makes the 1975 D so interesting is how hard it is to track down one in good condition. The mint produced a limited number of these coins, and most of them didn't make it through circulation without being damaged or worn down. As a result, it's become increasingly rare to find one in excellent, uncirculated condition. Now, what does this mean for you if you happen to have one in your collection or find one in your change? Well, collectors are willing to pay a pretty penny for the 1975 D, and the value can vary depending on the condition of the coin. If you're lucky enough to have one of these in excellent condition, the price can range from $1,000 to as much as $10,000. That's right, $10,000 for a penny. It's a huge jump from its face value. But why such a big range in value? Well, the price really depends on how well preserved the coin is. Coins that have been kept in near-perfect condition, like ones you might find in a collector's set or a well-preserved roll, are going to be worth more. On the other hand, if the coin has been circulated a lot or has some damage, it'll be worth significantly less. That said, even a coin in less than perfect condition can still fetch a pretty impressive price, especially if it's the rare 1975 D variety. So, if you've got a 1975 penny lying around, it might be worth taking a closer look. The 1975 D has become a coveted piece for coin collectors, and even if it's not in perfect shape, it could still be worth a lot more than you think. Whether it's the rarity of the coin or the fascination with its mystery, the 1975 D Lincoln Memorial penny remains one of the most valuable pennies out there today. Alright, now we're getting into some serious rarities. Coming in at number 3 is the 1983 No Mint Mark Lincoln Memorial penny. Now, normally, every U.S. coin has a mint mark indicating which facility it was produced in. For example, D means it was minted in Denver, and an S means it came from San Francisco. But in 1983, something a little strange happened. A small batch of pennies that year was produced without any mint mark at all. That's right, no D or S to be found on them, just a plain, unmarked penny. And as you can imagine, this tiny oversight has made these coins incredibly valuable among collectors. Now, most of the 1983 pennies you come across will have the usual mint mark, either the D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, but if you happen to find one that's missing that mint mark, then congratulations. You've got yourself something really special. The no mint mark pennies from 1983 are extremely rare, and that rarity is what makes them so valuable. So, how much are we talking about here? A typical penny, of course, is worth just 1 cent, but a 1983 no mint mark penny could be worth around $1,800. That's a huge jump from its face value, and it's a testament to just how much the rarity of a coin can impact its value. Now, you might be wondering, why are these pennies so valuable? Well, the short answer is scarcity. There weren't many of these no mint mark pennies made, and over time, the ones that were produced have either been lost or damaged. So, if you've got one of these pennies in decent condition, it could be worth a lot more than you think. The 1983 no mint mark penny is one of those rare finds that makes coin collecting so exciting. It's one of those cases where an unexpected mistake during the minting process has turned a simple coin into a highly coveted treasure. Because of this mistake, collectors are willing to pay a premium to get their hands on one of these rare coins. But how can you spot one of these no mint mark pennies? The key is to look closely at the reverse side of the coin, where the mint mark would usually be. If you see no mint mark at all, nothing, just a plain coin, then you might have a winner. Just keep in mind, the condition of the coin also plays a huge role in its value. A coin that's been well preserved will be worth a lot more than one that's been worn down or damaged in circulation. Coming in at number 2 is the 1988 D Lincoln Memorial penny. Now, you might be wondering why this particular coin is so valuable when regular 1988 pennies don't usually fetch much. The answer lies in a rare and little-known minting error that makes the 1988 D a true gem for collectors. Some of these 1988 D pennies were struck with an unusual die, which caused a distinct doubling of the image on the coin. It's not just a slight error, we're talking about a noticeable doubling of the letters and numbers, especially in places like Liberty and the date itself. This kind of mistake doesn't happen often, and when it does, it creates a coin that's highly prized by collectors. Now, why does this error matter so much? Well, when you're dealing with rare errors like this, the value can be huge. Most coins that have minting flaws are simply worth a little more than their face value, but with the 1988 D double die penny, things are very different. When you find one in good condition, the value can go up dramatically. In fact, in top condition, these coins can be worth as much as $7,000 or even more. That's a pretty significant jump from its original value of just 1 cent. But not every 1988 D penny with a double die error is worth that much. The condition of the coin plays a major role in determining its value. A coin that's been well preserved, with little wear or damage, will always be more valuable than one that's been heavily circulated. A mint condition coin, one that still has sharp, clear details and no noticeable signs of wear, is what collectors are after. If you're out there hunting for rare coins or going through your old change, keep an eye out for the 1988 D penny with the double die error. The way to identify it is by carefully looking at the details, especially around the words Liberty and the date. If you notice any noticeable doubling, where the letters or numbers appear to be overlapping or have a shadowed effect, that's your clue that you've got one of these valuable coins. Collectors are always on the lookout for these pennies, and if you happen to come across one in great condition, you could be holding a valuable piece of history. The 1988 D double die penny is one of those coins that shows just how much of a difference a small minting error can make. The rarity and the unique error make it an incredibly sought-after piece among collectors. Again, the key to understanding the true value of this coin is checking its condition. If it's been well kept and hasn't been through a lot of wear and tear, then it could be worth far more than you'd expect. So, always check your pennies carefully, especially those older ones, like the 1988 D. And finally, at number 1, we have a more recent entry, the rare 2017 penny errors. That's right, the 2017 penny, which is a fairly recent coin, has some very interesting errors that have caught the attention of collectors. You might think newer coins wouldn't have the same value as older ones, but the 2017 pennies are proving that wrong. These errors include things like missing letters, misstruck images, or even pennies with off-center strikes. Now, these kinds of minting mistakes usually occur when the coin isn't properly aligned or when there's an issue with the die during production. While these types of errors aren't uncommon, what makes the 2017 penny stand out is that they're so new. Seeing errors like this on more recent coins is fascinating to collectors, and they're willing to pay a good amount for them. Now you might be wondering how valuable these 2017 penny errors actually are. Although they're newer, they can still fetch a pretty penny, no pun intended. Some of these rare 2017 pennies have been sold for up to $380, depending on the error and the coin's condition. Sure, it might not be as expensive as some of the older, rarer coins we've talked about, but considering the fact that these are fairly recent, it makes them even more intriguing to coin collectors. So what types of errors are we talking about? The most common ones are misstruck images or coins with parts of the design missing. A penny with a missing letter or number can really stand out because it's something you don't see every day. Off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned with the edge of the coin, are also highly collectible. These errors aren't just common mistakes, they're unique and make each coin one of a kind. Now, why do these recent coins have such value? Well, part of it is their rarity. Even though the 2017 pennies are still in circulation, finding one with a minting error is relatively uncommon. Plus, the fact that they're new means they haven't had time to be worn down by years of handling. A lot of these coins still look like they just came out of the mint, which is a big plus for collectors who want to add pristine error coins to their collections. If you're going through your change, don't overlook those 2017 pennies. They could be worth more than you think. If you spot an error, whether it's a missing letter, a misstruck image, or an off-center strike, it could be a valuable find. So there you have it. The top 5 most expensive and ultra-rare Lincoln Memorial cents that could be worth big money. It's amazing to think that these little pennies, which we often overlook, can actually be worth thousands of dollars. If you're a coin collector, remember that the condition of the coin and any minting errors can greatly affect its value. Always inspect your pennies closely, you never know when you might stumble across a hidden treasure. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any more awesome coin content.